Welcome everybody. Today I'm planning on showing you how to get the works out of a cuckoo clock from start to finish. So this is a clock I'm going to work on today to show you how to take the works out. And the first thing you want to do is go ahead and undo this nut and take the hands off, which if it's been a while, usually you need to loosen that nut a little bit. Get yourself a glass dish. On here there's this square nut, as I guess we'll call it. Normally they'll pop out and they have little gears in them. And the little gears actually hold on to this hand so you can get it adjusted just right to hit right on the hour. The hour hand just slides on there. You pull it right out. And also you have the cuckoo bird. He has this arm here. Let me get this a little closer. This cuckoo bird has this arm that you have to detach from the door. Right? Normally just bend it down, the shorter part. I try to have it an L shape. Just lift it off and that's done. Now if the bird happens to go in, that'd be fantastic. But he's not going in right now because he must be triggered. Now on the back side, go ahead and flip these up and get the door off. Now what I like to do next is go ahead and take these hooks off so you can pull these chains out. And the reason why normally is because you're opening this up to be able to take the works out. So let me get set up and we'll take the hooks off and then we'll come back and take each one of these bellows out. Now to take these hooks off, normally it's nicer if you can run the clock down in order to make these come out better. You'll see a split in each one of these chains. Just grab a hold of one side, pull it so it's kind of straight, just enough to get the chain through. And there you go. And there you go. So take this off. Well, you don't have to take it off, but put this in your dish. And the same goes for this side. Look for the split in the chain. Now stand your clock up and go ahead and pull these chains through until you get these chains off. They're both off. Now we're going to go ahead and take the bellows out, and inside your clock here you'll see where the bellows wires come down. Sometimes you can just pop these right off, sometimes you can't, and it might be easier just to take the bellows out and unhook it that way. Now when you're taking those wires off, pay attention. It does have two sides here. And pay attention to which side goes to which bellows. So your bird sounds right when he's cuckooing. And also it's going to depend on whether your wire sizes are the same or not. So these are the arms that operate the bellows as the gear turns. And here's the wires to the bellows. Let's take the bellow off. Now the bellow, it has a single screw, normally has a single screw. Every once in a while, you'll find where someone took this and glued the bellows in. That's not the greatest, because sometimes you tear your bellow up on the inside here a little bit, but you can still get it off. Anyway, they do have a nail that's just set in there or driven clear through into the bellows, and that's to keep the bellow from sliding back and forth when the clock's in operation. So anyway, I have a small flat screwdriver. I usually start towards the top, and I try to keep the bellows as level as possible because I don't want to bend the nail. So here you can see where the screw was, and there's a little tiny hole there. That's where the nail was. And it's usually nice to leave the nail sticking clear through so you can line the nail up into that hole again. And then usually that there screw hole is right. So here again, screw and the nail. Let's take the screw out. Set it in your dish. And then work the bellows off. Now as you can see, this bellow has a wire here. This one here is what operates the cuckoo bird, such as this one. The bellows hits the wire and makes him go up and down as the bellow is opening and closing. Okay, now that we have the bellows out, the bird's unhooked from the outside door. Now we have 4 screws in here that screw the works to the frame of this clock. So go ahead and take those out, and then carefully take the works out and tip it so your bird will come out too without hitting this too much. It's not a heart attack, but you don't want to get carried away with that. So let me get those 4 screws out and I'll be right back. Okay, we have the 4 screws out. Now pay attention. Pay attention here where your bob goes. Just kind of push up out of the way and get it inside the clock, or watch as you're lifting it, because you don't want to rip that arm off. And here, bring the end out, and there you go. Now there's your bird all ready. Now, if you were to clean this thing, you're gonna want to go ahead and unscrew the bird and take him off. You can kind of see the ballpark of how far he is from the end of the rod. That gives you an idea, so you can reset the bird on here, but don't tighten him up all the way, and then adjust him after you have him in the clock. Otherwise, this screw here, you just loosen it and the bird will slide right out the arm, and that way you can take this and put it in your cleaning fluid to make sure it's all nice and clean. Wash it off with good hot soapy water, and then fresh water, and then I use a hair dryer to dry it off quick, and then I go ahead and oil each one of those spots. So anyway, let's put this Clock Works back in and see if things work out okay. Okay, let's go ahead and install the works again. I have the bird's wire back here because I don't want it in the way while I'm setting this in. And you just take it and carefully with the bird, set it down into place. Set it into place, line your holes up in there. Make sure the cuckoo bird's wire isn't hung up underneath anything. It can be clear on the outside here, but not hung up on the inside. And once you get the holes all lined up, go ahead and put your 4 screws in here, which that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have my 4 screws back into place. The pendulum I have sticking out the hole here, and here I had a chance to get the cuckoo bird in, so I set this lock here to lock the door shut. And now I can open it, and now to get the bird to spit out the wire, which if you see here, there he is. So take this wire here, and we're going to drop it into the door. That door to shut a little bit. Okay, now that I have it into the door, I can go ahead and bend that wire over and try to be careful you don't mess with the straightness of this wire here. So I'm going to set this clock down so I can get that wire bent, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have him hooked up to the door now, so the door just slams shut like it's supposed to. I'm going to go ahead and lock the door shut so he won't come back out. And our next thing is we're going to go ahead and hook these bellows back on. Now go ahead and start with the one that has the wire here that runs the cuckoo bird up and down. Now here again you can see the nails sticking out. And I like to hit the same hole here. So I'm going to bring this in, set it underneath the cuckoo bird. Now try to find the hole that the nail was in. And once you find the hole that the nail was in, take your screw here that you need to screw the bellows in with. Screw it in just a little bit, and then try to find the hole that this screw originally went in, and go ahead and snug it up. You don't need it tight, you need to snug it up because this is soft wood. Could be balsa wood, I don't know, but it's soft wood. So anyway, I'll be right back after I get this one in. Okay, I have that in, and now I need to hook this up onto the arm it was on. So you just get it started, and you can try to open that up a little bit with the screwdriver, but you might be able to just get it on like that. Just give it a little bit of a push, and there it's on. Like I say, look for the little hole where the nail was, get it lined up, push it in a little bit, and then insert your screw in to the side of the clock to secure it. So I'll be right back. If your nail comes out, push it in. On this one I went ahead, this wire to the bellows, I went ahead and got it hooked up, then slid it in because it kept getting in my way. You do whatever's easiest for you. So what you want to do on the chain, make sure both ends are off. It just works out that way. You got to do that. So now that I have both ends off, it's not going to make any difference. And what you want to do now is get yourself a little rod or something that you can stick in there. If you have a long enough screwdriver, stick it in there to where it'd go into where the chain goes, and spin it and see which way it turns. On this side, this one happens to be turning this way, so I plan on starting the chain through this first hole, and I'm going to catch it onto the gear almost halfway. Then I'll turn the clock as I'm turning that gear to get this chain to wrap around it. So I don't know if you can see or not, but it's kind of hard because I have to get this thing in there. See, I don't have it on far enough. So once you catch the gear, the chain will stay. And now you can turn that gear by hand. And as you're turning it, you're going to want to bring it around like this so the chain doesn't wrap around and get caught up in those gears that make the clock run. So here, if you can't get your finger in there, take something into the second hole and get it to turn. So you can use your screwdriver, just don't get carried away. You are working on a clock, but anyway, you can see how it's already starting to drop. I don't know if this wire is small enough to catch in there or not. There we go. So here I have it going through. I got it in. And then what I'd suggest now, okay, we're pulling down on this one. So this one that's coming out of the clock right now, that's the one you want to put the ring on, because that's how it works. It's winding right now, and the ring stops it from going clear up inside. So get yourself that piece of chain that you took off, get your round ring, and go ahead and carefully get this thing bent around back to about the shape it was.
It's 3 o'clock. I hope you can't see anything you're not supposed to.
Line the chain up. Not that anyone's going to see it but you. But you don't want that ring falling off, and you don't want this chain to come apart either. So there you go. Okay, so kind of keeping this snug, I'm going to go approximately halfway, so that way the weight of the chain on each side will keep it snug in the clock for me. So here we need the hook side. And just in case you happen to lose your one piece of chain, go to the next one and open it up. It's not like you're gonna lose anything special just losing one chain. But here I have it, so it doesn't look too bad. It's not gonna fall off. So we're ready to go there. Now what I like to do, because I have the next chain I need to put on, these are snug right now. I'm going to bring them around and I'm going to wrap them around the clock. Now there's many ways you can do this. You can put a bread tie on there, whatever floats your boat. I like to just wrap it around there. And of course, you don't want to get crazy tearing things up when you're working on a clock. You want to keep it as pretty as possible. And this one's all paint, so I don't want to scratch that up. So now, again, I'm going to go ahead and get this chain ready. I have the one end that's open. And I have this end that has a ring on it. I'm going to take that ring off. Okay, so to get the next one, again, I'm going to take my little rod or a screwdriver or something, come in here where the chain sets, and see which way it needs to go. Not that way. I can hear it winding, so it goes around this way. And if it goes around this way, that means we need to start the chain through this hole. And again, I can't really show you too well because I need to level this in order to get the chain to catch where I need it to catch. There, I have it caught onto the winding wheel. I'll take my wire in here and I'll start turning it. And as I'm turning it, I need to make sure to turn the clock so the chain doesn't get caught up in all the other gears. Okay, the bellows are in. We have the chains in. Now let's get the hands back on. So I don't know what time it is, but to get the hands on, I need to figure out what time it is. Don't care about the half hour. There's a 1. So there it tells me it's 12 o'clock. Get my little nut. There we go. Now I'll take a pliers. I just want a little snug on this so the nut doesn't fall off. Not much, because if you're holding on to the minute hand, you'll bust that thing right off. So again, I'll pull the chain. Oops. There's the half hour mark. So it's 5 o'clock. So I have that set now. And laying it on its back, that new bellows, you didn't hear it. So laying like this, it's got the weight that pushes down and you'll hear it again. So anyway, got those on. Got the works in. Got the bellows back in. Make sure you have all this right.